Hello, everyone, and thanks for listening to the Quality Hub, chatting with ISO experts. I'm your host, Xavier Francis, and we're back again today with Suzanne Weber-Smatko and Murphy Shaw, both from CORE, and we're going to be continuing our talk about different ISO standards and methodologies and how they relate to 9001. So let's hop over to Suzanne Weber-Smatko. What about TQM, Total Quality Management? How is that different from ISO 9001?
Well, total quality management and ISO, they're both frameworks for improving quality within organizations.
Okay.
But they differ in their scope, different principles and the way that you implement it.
Okay. How does total quality management do that?
TQM is more of a comprehensive and long-term approach to improving quality.
Okay.
In organizations, whether you're producing a product, providing services, looking to improve processes. But it emphasizes a company-wide culture of quality where every employee is involved in continuous improvement and striving for excellence.
Okay.
It is really built around, it's philosophical in nature and focuses on creating that culture of quality, which encourages ongoing efforts to improve processes, products, ultimately customer satisfaction, because everything that we're doing here is all really to improve not just the business, but positively impact or have a positive impact on your customer satisfaction.
All right.
So this approach, the TQM approach, involves continuous feedback, employee empowerment, and strong customer focus. What I would say is that it's in terms of the culture that you want to implement when you have TQM, it's ISO 9001 on steroids, right?
Okay.
We have a tendency to not always engage everyone in the business and manifest a culture that allows, open feedback, although we want that, but TQM really focuses on that. So typically it's a culture that's disseminated down through the people on the shop floor, everyone, leadership, managers, supervisors, and employees.
Maybe I'm jumping ahead here, but is this something where, again, if you're 9001, you could utilize this in getting that total employee buy-in and stuff that we've talked about multiple times here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So again, it's a methodology that you might be able to use.
Yes.
Now, besides the employee involvement, what's some of the other key features?
Customer focus, obviously, continuous improvement, and it is process oriented.
Okay.
Obviously, you want data, right? Because you want to make data-driven decisions. But when you're talking about the processes, it focuses on improving the processes that lead to the outcomes, right? We want to break it down into specific processes within an organization rather than the whole organization at one time.
Okay. So here you might be looking at designing a process and how we're going to get customer satisfaction at 98%. So something that's specific versus just overall.
Yes.
Okay. So what would you say the key principles are? Again, just knocking them down as you go.
I would say customer focus, total employee involvement, that culture. It's a process-centered approach, integrated systems, a more strategic and systematic approach to it, continual improvement, fact-based decision-making for sure. We talked about the data-driven decisions and communications. TQM really mandates that you have good communication throughout your entire facility.
Okay.
So I would say the key differences, if you're talking about total quality management and ISO 9001, TQM is that broader organizational philosophy that influences the entire culture of a company.
Okay.
It applies to all aspects of the business from leadership to operational processes and involves every employee in pursuit of quality.
Okay.
And then, 9000 is that formal standard focused on establishing, the documented system for managing quality, which we talked about before. It outlines specific requirements for a quality management system, but it doesn't prescribe, although you want it, it doesn't prescribe a company-wide culture transformation.
It says you need to communicate.
Yes.
There's communication, but doesn't say anything about getting buy-in and things. That's something that TQM really does focus on.
Yeah. I mean, ISO really focuses on making sure that your employees know the quality policy, right? Yeah. Or how they contribute to the quality management system. But this is, TQM would be more involved. And you typically see in businesses that you have somebody who, with this and Six Sigma, you have somebody that primarily has a background in that.
Okay. So they
in
can
order to
apply
focus
it to
on
your process or whatever you're trying to do. Okay.
The other key difference that I would say is, the measurement and metrics.
Okay.
Because we're all about, measuring stuff to manage it better. I've said that multiple times. And
If you're not measuring it, you can't manage it.
That's right. That's right. TQM focuses on qualitative improvements and employee involvement.
Okay.
And you involve them in the decision making. You can use customer feedback, performance metrics that should guide you to the improvements that you should make. Again, that data, that kind of data-driven decisions to help you focus on what you can improve within your business.
Gotcha. Can you be certified to TQM?
No, it's just a methodology.
So it is a methodology.
Yes.
Like Six Sigma was. Other than Six Sigma, you can break it down and individuals can be certified.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do you sum it all up when it comes to TQM?
So TQM, it's the broader management philosophy that obviously emphasizes quality as just a fundamental organizational culture.
So that culture stuff.
Yep. Continuous improvement.
Okay. So we've talked about Six Sigma and TQM. What about lean? And I've heard it a lot. We've mentioned lean, but what is it and how is it different than 9001?
Yeah, well, if I had to say it in just a couple of words, it's one of my favorites because it's eliminating waste, right? Because waste costs us money.
Yeah.
But Lean and ISO 9000 both aim to improve quality as well and efficiencies within an organization. But they differ significantly in their focused approach and the implementation portion. So Lean is again, another methodology focused on maximizing value by eliminating waste, anything that doesn't add value to the customer.
Okay.
So it primarily aims to improve operational efficiencies.
How does it do that?
Well, it reduces non-value added activities.
Okay.
You're optimizing your processes to deliver faster in more cost-effective ways.
Use fewer resources.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it also focuses on continuous improvement.
Okay.
You strive to create value for customers. In this day and age, it's with fewer resources, right?
Yeah.
So it's driven by the principle of improving process flow, eliminating that waste across all areas of your organization. And that can be administrative functions. It can be production functions.
So we're not just talking
customer
about
service.
What you throw on the floor when
That's
you're making
right.
something.
That's right.
What are the key concepts of lean then?
Waste elimination. Lean targets 7 types of waste: defects, overproduction, waiting, the time that people stand around and wait.
Yeah.
Non-utilized talent, transportation, inventory, and again, motion, right?
Okay.
That's sort of hand in hand with waiting, but maybe not. Value stream mapping, identifying and analyzing the steps and process to eliminate inefficiencies within a business. A lot of folks have heard, which is a very popular continuous improvement initiative, is Kaizens. That encourages consistent incremental improvements in processes and activities. So companies might hold Kaizen events in order to do that. Just in time, ensuring that materials and products are only produced or ordered as they're needed, reducing excess inventory. Inventory is money.
Yeah. Yeah. So finding that balance, though, I'm sure having it right when you need it, but not too soon.
Depending on the business,
Yeah.
And then empowerment and engagement, encouraging employees at all levels to identify opportunities for improvement and contribute to process enhancements. That's one of the things that I like the most about, the different concepts of lean is that it does engage employees because, whether you're talking about a manufacturing shop floor, those are the people that know where the wastes are.
Yeah.
Right. And usually you can get them very much engaged because it's going to make their life or their job much easier and more efficient.
Yeah. Does lean give you any tools other than some of what you talked about?
Oh, yeah. There's lots of tools. There's 5S, where you sort, set and order, shine, standardize, and sustain. That's what the 5S stands for. That's really a system for organizing and maintaining a clean and efficient workspace.
Okay.
And then Kanban, visual systems for managing work in progress. That improves the flow. Value stream mapping, a technique to identify value and waste in processes.
Okay.
And then, your root cause analysis.
Yep.
Identifying those underlying causes of problems rather than just addressing symptoms of problems.
Right. So that's a lot. Goes through a lot with lean.
Yes.
So you kind of talked to it a little bit, but is there anything else other than what you talked about, what some of the key differences are between 9001 and lean? Lean seems to be like, again, I think about you're getting lean, you're cutting waste, you're doing that. But is there anything else that might be different?
No, it is focused on operational efficiencies, like we said, and streamlining those processes, reducing unnecessary steps. I think we touched a little bit on that. Lean is also more about continuous process optimization. I mean, you just don't do one project, or it's really a culture as well.
So unlike
Six Sigma. Yeah, it's
unlike
more
Six Sigma, which was more process based or a specific project, this is going to be not unlike TQM, where it's wide system.
Right. Lean projects like Kaizens, they're projects as well.
Mm-hmm.
The TQM. So we've talked about Six Sigma, which is mostly project based. Lean is the same way.
Okay.
TQM is getting that culture from the ground up.
Right. I'm assuming, like the other ones, this is a methodology and there's no certification involved. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more of a methodology. When you're talking about implementation of Lean, there's various ways depending on what your organizational goals are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's often done incrementally through different little projects here and there. Your leadership team should have an idea, or may look to somebody who's qualified in Lean and Six Sigma. They might depend more on them to identify those areas of waste, because it's not always, apparent to companies on what their waste is.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you're busy doing, and you're not paying attention to that.
Yes.
So summarizing, Lean really just maximizes eliminating waste, improving the flow, and helps you really keep your operation lean.
Yes.
Okay. So back to Murphy, and it's for both of you. Really appreciate you going through these different methodologies. Now, from both the standards and the methodologies, we'll start with Murphy here. Can you explain some aspects that might be good to incorporate into an ISO QMS from some of those other ones, or maybe they're involved in a lot of them?
Yeah, well, I would say from my perspective, management's involvement in these things.
Okay.
It's hands down, in my opinion, the most important factor of all these different standards and methodologies. When management's not involved, they don't really know what's going on. They don't know that there may be issues already affecting the company or potential failures on the horizon.
Okay.
And that's one of the requirements that we see pretty much across the board, is to get them involved and participate and help implement the quality management system from the top down.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Suzanne?
Yeah, no, I would say I agree with that. I think it goes hand in hand when you talk about management involvement. I feel very strongly about the employee engagement. You say from the top down. Yeah, your leadership needs to be engaged and really
building that culture.
Right. Building that culture, making sure that they engage the right people. Again, It's mostly the people that are either making the product or delivering the service that understand what they can do better to improve what they're doing on a daily basis.
Yeah, but
so employee engagement. I'm big on employee engagement.
But the management must engage the employee. I'm just trying to tie these together. Murphy's like, you have to have leadership. And if they're not reaching out, employee engagement is going to be like, I'm just going to sit here and do my job. And
well, it's important you have leadership that believes in quality, right?
So speaking towards methodologies, it seems like all of those, if you're at the proper place in your 9001 journey, it might be a good time to bring something that's a different methodologies to even get further down the rabbit hole. Maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. To eliminate any of the wastes.
Yep.
It's all about continuous improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Continuous improvement.
And all of the standards, right? I think all of the standards that we work with all mandate that you have continuous improvement initiatives, right? Whether it be just a continuous improvements or you're identifying those risks and listing or have a list of activities that you're taking to mitigate risks. It's all continuous improvement.
Well, I certainly do appreciate you both being here in these episodes. It's been great to talk with you, learn a little bit more about the different quality management systems in ISO and also some other methodologies. Really appreciate you both being here.
Great to be here, X.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. Great to have you both again. And we want to thank everyone who's listened to our podcast today. We hope it's been informative for you. Now, if you're looking for more information about Core Business Solutions and how we can help you with ISO certification, cybersecurity, or even customized training, please email us at info@thecoresolution.com. And you can also visit our website at www.thecoresolution.com. And if you haven't followed us on your favorite podcast platform or YouTube, please be sure to do so, and that way you won't miss the next Quality Hub podcast when it's released next week. Have a great day, everyone.